Back with Bobby and JG Radio, we have Mr. Joshua Schwenke. She's with the Gastronomy Company and Gastronomy Live Events. Been in this industry for 17 years, and then with this particular company for 14 years. So talk about the gastronomy. Well, first of all, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And he just gave me he just put some weird plant in my mouth.
And it's legal.
It is legal.
It's a legal plant.
I'm a business owner, so I'm definitely going to have to get tested. But let's talk about the Gastronomy Company, what you guys are doing here.
This is already off to a great start.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
For sure.
So Gastronomy Company and Gastronomy Live Events actually focuses on now you just pulled the whole plant out.
Wow.
We actually focus on where our food comes from, and we do that in the ways of going into local schools, and then local businesses, but we really do focus, our passion project is focusing on schools. And how we facilitate that is we come in and we do food activations. And what I mean by that is we're focusing on these cooking demos, but we're also looking at doing food experiments for the kids. So the whole purpose of this is to get them excited and passionate about not just where their food comes from, but also the whole process of it. So we believe with that, there's life lessons in learning where their food comes from, how to use it to become healthier, and then kind of tap into their own history of their lineage and their heritage.
Yeah, nobody cared about us when we were little.
No, dude. Yeah. It was like cafeteria pizzas that, it was, no one cared, dude.
Today's meatloaf was yesterday's sloppy Joe or backwards. Yeah.
Either way, we got fed.
That was called recycling.
Yeah.
That was,
we had like the milk cartons that were all like... It
was ice on the end.
Yeah,
Good times.
Not cool, dude.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now the kids are... I'm just kidding.
Sure.
Now
character.
They build character. So what got you into this career?
So I grew up...
Besides the awesome last name, Schwenke.
Exactly. So So not only with my background in restaurants did I see a lot of how a lot of movement was in the culinary world, but I was also raised on a farm outside of Yoakum, Texas. And while we were there, thank you. Mm-hmm. While we were there, we actually we saw how difficult it was to be a farmer. So a lot of what we do is to connect to connect a lot of the market back to where their food comes from, and make these local farmers champions of change as far as showcasing what they're doing, so that we're not outsourcing our food so broadly that there's this disconnect to where it comes from.
There's a huge disconnection, right? Like we outsource a lot of things, like making clothes and.
I knitted this myself.
I thought so because it's fresh to death.
Yeah, thank you.
I have the same print for curtains.
Yeah, oh wow, too soon. But it's weird that the food is that we outsource. It's still an obsession because obviously they don't make TV shows about making clothes, right?
Yeah, they don't.
We literally have no idea where our food comes from, have no idea who cooked it, where it's got processed, packaged, and sent to us, and then we go home and watch people cook, which I always thought was the craziest thing ever.
Right.
That doesn't happen in any other kind of thing that we've outsourced. I think as human beings, is we're still obsessed.
Of course,
we're totally obsessed with food. We just we've disconnected ourselves from it completely.
Exactly.
And so you're trying to reintroduce it through the next generation.
Yeah, and we are, and we and I tell the story a lot, but there's many times that I bring in something like a pineapple to an inner city school, and you and I take a pineapple for granted.
Sure.
But if you sit in front of a group of kids who sit there and have no idea what it is that I have in front of them,
like you think it's a weapon?
This is not.
He's gonna light it.
Yeah. But it's something where they have there is that massive disconnect, and it might be kind of whimsical at first, but then you really think about it, and that's our future. That's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Is working with that, and so that will show up in our economy. That will show up in the health of. I mean, we are looking at the very first generation that has a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
I blame it on Bobby, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, just in general. But yeah, no. So it's the first group of kids that are not going to outlive their parents.
Exactly. And so we
is it because of the food?
Of course, there's nothing else.
Well, the top three killers in disease in the United States right now are all three diet related.
Mm-hmm. Diabetes, heart disease.
Exactly. Hypertension, all of these.
And where does mariachi music fall in there in that list?
Well, it's actually
my wife would say third or fourth. I like it.
It's two for me.
Exactly.
Yeah. They all have accordions, right? Schwenke. So how do you feel that this is going to connect the children? How do you feel that showing them these different foods, how to cook, what is your hope for that? Like, In the long run.
In the long run,
Sure.
I want us to return not so much to that agrarian lifestyle where we're all growing our own whatever, our own pineapples, so to speak. But what I do is I want them to have a better understanding of where our food comes from, that that a pack of bacon doesn't just come from a pack of bacon,
Right.
it come from the store. And I believe that if you tie that into the history of food and the science of food and all these other things, it starts to translate into a better understanding of their health. And they can start combating those things. And it takes a child to go home and turn to their parents and say, we no longer want to eat this way. This is a lot of fun. What I do for a living is a blast. So it's getting them passionate about it and then getting them to go home and ignite everything that they've just learned.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you do more, obviously you have cooking classes and wine tastings. Talk about that a little bit.
So what is kind of a driver into getting us into these local schools, I'm a for-profit company, but what we do is we do wine tastings and beer tastings at local multifamily properties, luxury properties around San Antonio. And so with that, we are able to kind of launch us into the market. We bring local beer from local breweries all around Texas rather, and then we showcase the love that we have for great beer and wine. And these residents come out and everything else to work and kind of be in that space and learn about these things.
Yeah.
And it really is a comedy routine set to a beer and wine tasting. So we have a blast. We have an absolute blast.
For more information about this incredible company, check them out at gastronomycompany.com. They're also Facebook at gastronomycompany.com. This is Joshua Schwenke. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back with Bobby and JJ Radio.